What's up, guys? I saw it again. I saw it get out again, and I saw some new things. Now, some of these things are really heavy and deep and esoteric. I'm gonna save those for towards the end of the video. So let's deal with some of the symbolism that I saw this time that I didn't mention the first time, or that I didn't notice the first time. So first, Jeremy. And if you remember, I said with Jeremy, Jeremy's the brother. He represents police, or the enforcement arm of this neo-colonial operation as an allegory. So anyway, Jeremy starts talking to Chris about MMA, and Chris says that he did judo in first grade, and Jeremy says that he's into jiu-jitsu because it's not about strength. He says it's about this, and he points to his head, but he totally throws up the Baphomet hand signal when he's pointing to his head. So that's really interesting. If you don't know what the Baphomet hand signal is, look it up. I'm not about to do it on camera and have that footage used to be like, look at this, look at him, look, he's throwing it up. So look at it, Google it, but a lot of celebrities do it, a lot of politicians do it, a lot of people in the media do it, and I guess the idea is that it's supposed to show allegiance to some satanic version of masonry. And you know, if he's police, it's an interesting aspect because, you know, a lot of police are on that kind of dark side of masonry. So interesting stuff. I didn't notice that the first time. With Rose, something new I noticed, or you know, going further with her character in my analysis of her character. Again, I said Rose represents like the yuppie whose racism is more hidden, much more covert. And what she does throughout the movie, until she shows her true colors, what she does throughout the movie is she denies all the problems. And that's like a huge technique and strategy of these covert racists, is to like deny that there's any problem. What? Really? You think? Like, you know, like when Chris is like, you know, do you think you should tell him, you know what I mean, my lineage, you know, blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh, you know, she makes like light of it, and that's like a huge strategy that they do, is like, they'll like act like you're crazy for even thinking that there's any issue, and you know, strategically, it's effective because a lot of times people second guess themselves like Chris did, and it's like, all right, maybe, you know, maybe I'm reading too much into this, I don't want to play the race card, you know what I mean? So it's a way to shut people down, but sort of passive aggressively. Real quick with the no, the Georgina scene. A lot of people have done that. A lot of people have done really good analysis of that. I just want to say, I kind of realized that when she was saying, no, that hasn't been my experience, she is suppressing the other girl. So they're kind of having like an internal argument, a tug of war, so to speak. She says, no, that hasn't been my experience. The Armitages treat us like family. That's not so much a line to Chris. I mean, it works to Chris too. But it's more like between her and the girl whose body and brain she took over. Alright, let's get into the esoteric stuff. I'm like super excited about the esoteric stuff because I think it's kind of a big deal. Alright, let me just say, so far all of this allegory, metaphor, symbolism has been dealing with post-1492 treatment of original peoples. So we're talking slavery, the torture associated with that, the rape associated with that, all that stuff. We've been dealing with, you know, after like Columbus or whatever, like the stuff after that. But actually, like my second time going to see the movie, there's some stuff that deals with the pre-Columbus part of this history. And a lot of people don't know about this history. It's still a very much a hidden history. A lot of people are still in the sunken place, so to speak, as it deals with this history. A lot of people are still dealing with that concept that they were, you know, in the jungle and, you know, they got wrapped up by Europeans, and, you know, that was their first glimpse of real culture and real society. And that's absolutely not true. We have enough information now, especially in the information age, to say that's absolutely not true. But these long-going wars between, if you want to say Saracens and Romans or Crusaders, it comes before 1492. This post 1492 has been kind of like the last stage, and you know, hopefully we're coming out of that stage now. But it goes beyond that, and I think it actually gets touched on in the movie. So let's dig into that. First of all, the grandfather's name is Roman Armitage. And so right there you have a link to Roman culture, which is the foundation of all of the nationalism and empire that you see, that this stuff comes out of. The origin of this, of colonialism, and even the United States comes out of Roman culture. And so it's perfect that the grandfather's name is Roman, because he's the grandfather. That's, he's not around anymore, but that's where they're getting this from. That's where they're getting their techniques from. That's where they're getting the science from. He developed the science, and they're continuing it on in their new entity. So I thought that was important. His name's Roman. Also, I noticed in the little video, he shows Chris when Chris is strapped in and they're about to start the procedure. The video has like a little, it looks almost like a United States emblem, the eagle. It's real small. I couldn't see it super clear, but it looked like United States eagle on the lower right hand corner. Let's flush the Roman Crusader thing out a little bit more, because maybe his name's just Roman, maybe there's a coincidence, maybe they weren't thinking. It's not a coincidence. The people who write this stuff, especially good stuff like this, like they take every character name to mean something. It's an opportunity to do something significant. Why waste that opportunity? Especially if it's something that's well crafted like this. So Roman. Now let's look at Armitage. Armitage. I looked up Armitage. Basically means hermitage. So the status of being a hermit. And one thing I saw with that was, it could be like in the sunken place. The individuals that are brought into the sunken place, they become hermits in a way. They become isolated, like a hermit. But I think a stronger use of that word, or a stronger meaning for that word, might be a heritage of arms, like taking arm and heritage and putting that together. And so I think that's actually a more interesting idea, because a lot of these families, they'll kind of downplay the warrior nature and the violence in their history. For example, like in Pennsylvania, the Quakers, William Penn and the Quakers, that's like a big thing. That's what Pennsylvania is named after, William Penn. And, with Quakerism, they're always talking about, peace. We're peaceful. We're very peaceful. Yes. It's about peace. Yes. But if you do the history, you find out that William Penn was the son of a naval admiral for Great Britain. So the whole colony comes from war, So they downplay that. They don't tell you that. They don't really tell us that. They hide their heritage of arms. So that's kind of, maybe that might be a stress for some of you, but that's kind of what I was looking at. Armitage, it's kind of a unique last name. But just talk about last names for a second. A lot of people are still in the second place there too, because we have a lot of Georgina Armitages walking around. A lot of people are still wearing the last names of people Europeans who subjugated them. So, again, one of the reasons I think this movie is so important is because I think it deals with a situation that still needs to be remedied. Going forward with the Roman Crusader imagery or symbolism, and this one you kind of can't deny it. You got to deal with this one. When Chris is leaving in the white Porsche, he's finally running away. There's a Crusader helmet in the passenger seat, and for a break, I feel like Peele, most of the symbolism was more subtle, but for a break, that's not subtle at all. And I think it's good that it's not subtle, because the history is so esoteric, at least in connection to this situation, that it's good that he was like, all right, you have to deal with this. And Chris sees it and he's like, what? What's this? So that's absolutely there. And again, going back to this kind of Saracens versus Crusader ideology, it's in there. So that's pre-1492 stuff, which is really cool. And, a lot of people don't realize, especially on the Aboriginal side, they don't understand the significance and the origins of their treatment under European governments in North America and worldwide. But go to like an alt-right website or alt-right discussion group or whatever. You're going to see a lot of Crusader and Roman and Greek imagery and symbolism. So that's absolutely where they're getting it from. They know the roots of this multi-century and really multi-millennia battle or war or conflict. So yeah, it's beautiful because otherwise I'm just kind of, maybe you say I'm guessing, but with the Crusader helmet in the passenger seat, it's like, all right, you got to deal with that now. Okay, so now let's go beyond the Crusades. Let's go back in history, past that, earlier than that. And let's go 2,000 years back. So I'll say this time, seeing the movie, I started to see Chris as more of a hero. In the first time I saw him more of as a victim, and seeing Rod as really like the TSA guy really is the guy who helps him. But this time I'm realizing like, yo, he did a lot of work himself. And what I'm getting at here is Christopher comes from Christ. The name is derived from Christ. Now, all right, hold on, stay with me here for a second. So, Christopher, the hero, the Heru, goes into the underworld, the basement, and destroys the operation, destroys the demons, and destroys their works. Now, when he comes above ground, the mom stabs him in the hand. So he has the stigmata, like the crucified Christ. So I think that's absolutely there. And I didn't really see that the first time, but I definitely saw it the second time. So again, exciting. And again, playing on that whole Roman versus original people conflict. So real interesting stuff, real ancient esoteric symbolism, I think. When people make great art like this, it's really fun to do reviews. And so I hope, there's more stuff like this. I have more opportunities to do reviews like this because I really enjoy it. And it's amazing. I don't know, like if Peele had dealt with these subjects directly, I don't think the movie would ever have been mainstream. So it's really cool to kind of have a situation where it's kind of like under the radar, but if you dig in, and you don't really have to dig in that deep, but if you dig in a little bit, you start to see some of these esoteric histories being spoken about. So again, great job, Peele, and stay tuned for more content on this channel. Subscribe if you haven't already, and yeah, let's do this.